what you hate, what you can't stand, what you want to walk out of, what you want to give up on. There is somebody out there that would die to be in your position. And so here's what I need you to ask yourself. Is this problem an issue or is it an opportunity? Some of you, all you've been waiting for your whole life was an opportunity. What if losing your job was the opportunity? What if the divorce is an opportunity? What if the bankruptcy is an opportunity? What if the one you loved was an opportunity for you to reconnect with somebody and forgive them? I need you to see the bigger picture. I need you to have a little gratitude. You need to learn how to smile. You need to work out. I know you hate the gym. I know you hate to lift weights. I know you hate cardio. I know you don't like drinking water. I know you don't like taking care of your temple. You think it's the hardest thing to do in the world to commit. But there is somebody who's in the grave today, and if they had another opportunity to live, they would enthusiastically, with great confidence and courage and consistency, do what you hate just to live a little longer. Find the positive. See the bigger picture. Guard your gratitude. The trial, the tribulation, the adversity, the giant is not your assassin. The giant is your opportunity. Are you going to complain in the face of conflict, or are you going to seize the opportunity? I don't care what it is that you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to give, how you're trying to evolve, what you are looking to become. Everything rises and falls on your perspective. Stop complaining about the jealousy and the envy and the backbiting and the person that gave up on you and the person that wasn't present and the person that lied to you and the person that attempted to manipulate and control. I'm not weary, I'm wiser. I'm not toxic, I'm triumphant. I see this thing differently. This season that you've entered into did not come to break you. It came to build you into the man or woman God has destined you to be. Change your perspective. Get back up.
So from this day forward, 365 days together. No, we can't do it alone, but together we can. Together, we can motivate this country. We can motivate this world. Let's love our brothers and sisters. Let's feed the poor. Let's show the world what a true king and queen is. Together we will rise, together we will fight. And if God says, together we will fall. Let's be phenomenal today, kings and queens. This is only the beginning. Because this life is not done with you. Your dream is not done with you. Mistakes turn us all into winners. Mistakes turn us all into perfections. There's gonna be days when it seems like it will never happen. The dream will never manifest. The money will never come. The cars will never come. But you gotta fight for something more than material. You gotta fight for the baby that lays in your soul, that burns your chest. Because if you don't feel this fire, then it's not a dream. Get back up. Can you hear me? I said get back, because this life is not done with you. Your dream is not done with you. See, many of us believe that we don't have what it takes. You have multi-million-dollar potential inside of you. And you don't need a dollar to obtain it. It's all inside of you.
So some of you like me, I ain't have my daddy. Right, I'm from Chicago, South Side. I had my father in my life. I don't know who my grandfather is. My mom got pregnant with me at 17 years old. I didn't have the people in my life that were supposed to be in my life, so I made some stupid decisions, dropped out of high school, homeless, living in abandoned buildings, eating out of trash can. I promise you, if a speaker came, I was like some of y'all, wasn't saying nothing, but guess what happened? Guess what happened? Yup, one day I got a why. I got married, I had a son, and everything changed for me. That's why I'm asking you, who do you love? So when people ask me, E.T., why you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning? Why you putting videos up every day at 3 o'clock in the morning on Instagram? Number one, because I want to be the best that ever done it. Like, I honor my craft. I want Dr. Martin Luther King to look at me and go, that's it, kid. I want Malcolm X to look at me and go, that's it, kid. Just like you got the Hall of Fame in basketball, I want to be the Hall of Fame in speaking. I want all the greats to look at me and go, that's it right there. Number one, I'm competing against everybody else in the world. I'm not mad at them, I'm not against them, but when you number one, you don't have to negotiate with your check. I remember when I was like number 25 or something, they would be like, okay, you got to fly here, you got to fly. Now I tell people how I fly. I tell people where I stay, where I don't stay. So number one in the world, what happened? One day I woke up and was like, I got to do this for my wife. Like, I don't know what happened, but she called me like, yo, E, I'm lost. I'm like, what you mean we lost? We live in Lance. You can't be lost. She's like, I'm lost. I got a brain fog. Took her to the hospital, found out she had MS. The doctor was like, look, this is the one thing we could tell you. Stress caused MS. I told my girl, you will never work again. My son, I didn't go to college. When you finish high school and go to Michigan State, I'm cashing you out. I found out I had a gift. I started thinking about what my mom need, what my sisters need, and a lot of y'all, you selfish, flat out. How many of you in this room? Some of y'all, you good. You don't make it to the league, you tight work. That ain't all y'all. How many of y'all, your mama really need you to go to the league? Let me see your hand. Hands down, I'm gonna say it again. How many of y'all need to move your mama out that neighborhood and y'all need to put your mama in another neighborhood and the league is how you gonna get there? Let me see your hand. So what I'm trying to tell you is, while you playing, it might be some cats in the league who really are going or who do come from privilege and you like thinking you them. I promise you, I ain't stupid. I ain't Tony Robbins. I don't come from where he come from. I don't come from where Kiyosaki come from. I don't come from where Zig came from. My mama barely finished Dunbar. I'm from the south side of Chicago. I ain't had no safety net. You acting like if you don't make it to the NBA, you got like some second opportunity that's gonna pay you $100 million. How many of y'all in the room right now, your mama got a safety net? So, other than you making it to the league, you got another way where you about to make $100 million. Let me see your hand real quick. For real, because that's what you acting like. Now, if your parents got that, hey, you good. But some of you, your mama ain't got that. So when you hoop from now on, I don't want you to see basketball. I want you to see your mama getting out the hood. So every time you get your handle straight, your mama is that closer to doing what? Every time you get your character straight, you heard what the man said. He said that they got to choose between the two of y'all. They not choosing the snotty-nosed dude who think he everything, who don't speak to people. You know when they always pick me. I always ask, why y'all pick me and not the other speakers? They say, because you easiest to work with. Because when you come, you don't talk down to nobody. You clean up behind yourself. He just said, I'm a grown man. They say you clean up behind yourself. You don't cause problems. Number one, this is not about basketball. This is about who? Yourself and then who? Your family. So the days you don't feel like working out, it's easy. How do you get motivated? How you get pumped up? You think about mama and that feeling on draft day. And which one is more important? You get some rest or mama coming to the draft? I'm just being real. Which one is more important? So somebody locking you down, you trying to score and they locking you down, like in your mind you gotta go, uh-oh, this ain't just about me getting locked down. This is about mama not having what? This mama not having what? Food. So at halftime, when coach go back over the stuff, when you come out, what you gotta do? You gotta kill. I just told y'all, this how my man eats. This how my grandkids gonna eat. He doing his own personal thing. This how we eat. This ain't no motivational presentation. This how my mama eat right now. This how my wife never have to go to work again. This how we live on the West Coast and on the East Coast. And I ain't no baller, and I ain't making millions of dollars, but my gift is making room for me. Every time I get on 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm killing them. Tony Robinson can't keep up. He's a phenomenal speaker, but he ain't from the Chi. He can't keep up. My motor, I'm killing them.
Many of you listening to me right now, you have unfinished business, and you need to go back to that dream, back to that idea. You have a date with destiny. You have unfinished business. It's time for you to go back to the drawing board with a new perspective. It's your viewpoint. And watch this. Your perspective actually shapes your language, and your language shapes your world. And so if you don't start thinking right, you're not going to talk right. And if you're not talking right, you're not going to experience the world that you see in your head. I don't know who God has called you to become, but what I can tell you is if you keep seeing it the way you have seen it, you will never become it. Everybody wants next level. Everybody wants wealth and influence, and everybody wants to be this esoteric novelty. But listen to me, you will never experience any of this showing up in your next season with the same viewpoint.
The right perspective makes the impossible possible.
Instead of the path of least resistance, I started choosing the path of most resistance to prepare myself for the journey that was coming my way. And you realize through hard work, you can outwork anybody. No matter how badass they are. It starts with yourself, man. You gotta start diving into those things that you are afraid of. You don't gain confidence by going to the spot that makes you feel good. It's gonna be a false reality. And the second life gives you that challenge, all you want to do is go back to what gave you confidence. Is that happy spot? No. What gave me confidence was spending years at a kitchen table trying to learn how to read and write on my own. Realizing I can't learn the way you learn. I can't, but I can learn. What gives you confidence, not being afraid, is overcoming the fear. That's what gives me confidence, is facing these things, overcoming them. And maybe not overcoming them every day, but facing them and facing them and facing them. Pretty soon, like, you know what, man, this is where it's at. It's not in that comfort zone. It's in the discomfort zone is where my confidence is getting built. That's where it's getting built. Happiness, peace, enlightenment, it's all up here, man. It's all up here. It's all up here. You just gotta be willing to go and face it. And that's the hard part. The physical standard is not what they need to meet. It's a mental standard you must meet in life. That's how I live my life. I now know that there is no cap on the human mind. There's no cap. We cap it ourselves. When most people quit, I had just started. And when you take that mindset and you learn to flip that around, that's what made me powerful, and my body followed.
And so I said, I want to do this. I'm going to give myself a challenge every single day until the fear goes away.
That's right.
And I feel like that's what more of us should be doing. I'm hearing that that's what how you live your life.
That's all it is, man.
And it helps me feel so much more confident. When you overcome that fear of saying this doesn't have control over me anymore,
that's right.
It's like you can be at such more peace.
A lot of us speak in hollow words. I used to speak in hollow words. I don't do it anymore. Everything that comes out of my mouth has substance. It's real. We all have these feelings in our bodies, in our minds, in our souls. I act on mine. A lot of us who are afraid of something, we allow our minds to choose the path of least resistance, so we go a different route. And I'm afraid of something that's telling me you must do that. Life is one big mind game, and you're playing it with yourself. You cannot lose perspective of where you've come in life. I'm trying to give people a different thought process of life, where failure, hell, disappointment, discomfort is a great learning tool. And many people don't understand that, but it's these few moments in life that you have. Like for me, I always talk about it. Rocky 1, round 14. that one 2-minute and 13-second clip of Rocky getting up when Apollo knocked him down. That one clip, when I was going through a very bad time in my life, I saw what I wanted to be. And it wasn't a guy that won. It wasn't a guy that won everything he did. It was a guy that kept getting up after being knocked down. So I realized if that 2 minutes and 13 seconds changed my life, that's all it was. I saw something that I needed to be in the world I was living in. Maybe my story will give someone the 2 minutes and 13 seconds they need to change their life. Everybody's got a story. We don't share it on social media. We share our nice life on social media. We all have a dungeon. I'm just willing to talk about mine. Mental toughness isn't something that you sample. It's something that you live in every day. Whenever hardness comes, and you don't know what it is, it may be different for you than it is for me, but you go back to your insecurities. And then when you go back to your insecurities, you then look for comfort within those insecurities. And we all look for that cookie that your mom used to give you when you were sad, when you were sick. We look for our wife or our husband. We look for comfort. It's in those moments you must retrain your mind to think differently in health. The mental standard is you must know how far you've come. I walk in a room now and I know the hours and years and decades I put into David Goggins. That's something, it's not on the wall. It's not a trophy on the wall. It's not a medal on your neck. I don't care how you perceive David Goggins, because through my journey, I figured out the one piece I was missing. I thought it was cars. I thought it was women. I thought it was money. I thought it was everything. The one piece I was missing was me having the courage to face myself. Where I got my work ethic from was the hours I had to spend learning this. When you sit down and you're not smart, and you have a disability, and you still want to be at the top of your class, I didn't want to just get by. When I realized that I can learn through hard work, and I can beat the valedictorian in school, but I got put in 10 hours more a day than he does. You know what kind of strength comes from that? When you're sitting down, that guy, that valedictorian studied for an hour, and you know I caught you. I have the work ethic to catch. That's where David Goggins got really invented. Was at a kitchen table with 20 spiral notebooks that were empty, and then they were full. And when you can go through that, I still have them in my storage unit. You go through these spiral notebooks of your life, and you realize, this is how I learned. This is unbelievable. It wasn't until I got real sick and my life got real quiet. I went from running 205 miles in 39 hours to I couldn't get out of bed. My life was taken from me. And that's when I realized I hadn't taken time to think about what I'd done in my life. I'd done all these things, but there was no finish line. I finished a race of life, and I wouldn't even receive my medal. I go on. I get in the car and I go. When I started figuring out life, that I was leaving so much in the tank. Once I realized, my God, man, I was this dumb, fat kid being bullied, and now I'm a 180-pound person, lost 106 pounds in less than 3 months. Learn to read, learn to do this, learn to do that. I was like, I need more. I was fueling my mind with everything. And I never took time to say, my God, you came from this hell, and you're here. I had come 8,000 miles from where I started. But if you never know that, you're still in a $7 a month place. So it's that quiet place. It's that place by yourself. It's those hours and years and decades by yourself in the grip of life. When life has you by the throat and choking you out, and you're sitting there calm because you're trying to figure it out. You're not panicking. You're not quitting. You're not throwing in the towel. You're saying there's a way around this. And when you figure it out, when life has you gripped in a vice, and you can figure that out, that's when you overcome. That's when you overcome. The journey getting there was harder than going through it. Yeah. You know? So That's the whole thing about life, man. It's that journey that makes you who you are.
When I was working with my professional athletes, it required me to do a lot of traveling. And this story gets me every time. So when people say, it didn't hurt, it still hurts. I was packing for a trip. My daughter walks into the room. She says, "Dad, why do you travel so much?" I said, "Sweetheart, this is how I provide for the family. This is how I take care of you and Mom. This is how I put food on the table." She looks at me and says, "Daddy, if I eat less, will you stay home more?" Now people would think in a fairy tale, or most people would say, I unpacked my suitcase, I'm not gonna take this trip, honey, let's go grab some ice cream or let's go out. I kept packing.
Why?
I had to set an example for her early of what it meant to win and what you have to leave behind sometimes in order to pursue what's unique to you. And I wanted her to understand this is who I am. And I want to set an example for you. I had a conversation with her later on to tell her why I did all those things. In the middle of the conversation, she stopped me. She goes, "I get it. I understand." She saw the results. She saw how it brought us closer together. She understood my dedication to my craft and what it took to excel and what it took to be different and what it took to stand by unpopular decisions, knowing that every successful person that I've met, every successful person that I know had to make those decisions over and over again. There are things that are going to have to take a back seat. You're going to have to leave a lot of things behind. The hardest thing with Kobe was getting him to stop.
Yeah, okay, take a break, rest.
Yes.
Take the day off.
That was the most challenging thing with him because over all the years that he had his success, it was about go, go, go. And then when I came on, I was the complete icicle. I got to get you to stop. His 3 a.m. workouts,
Yeah.
they're crazy. You know, having to keep the Staples Center open later because he wasn't happy the way he performed at that game. And I would not leave till he would leave.
Really?
Yeah, so we would be in the arena sometimes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Shut up.
All the lights are turned off except on the court, and we just keep going, we just keep going.
What is the mindset of winning? They both had that.
So I look at it 3 ways. So you have individuals that compete. You know a lot of people that compete.
Yeah.
You know, we all know how to compete. Everybody knows how to compete. You don't forget how to compete. We just decide not to anymore. But a lot of people compete just to finish. Then there's individuals that win, but they only win one time.
It's easy to win and then never win again.
And then there's people that win at winning. You can't come back the same. Cannot come back the same. You have to come back different. You have to come back better. Winning wants you to be different. Winning requires you to do different things. Winning requires you to think in a different way. Winning speaks its own language. Winning has its own way of recognizing you. Winning wants you to write your own story. Stop looking for steps. Those steps are infinite. Find your own path to winning. Because as the late, great Kobe Bryant said, winning is everything.
I heard a story one day about Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali was this amazing boxer. And I'm pretty sure everyone knows who Ali is. You're supposed to know. He's one of the greatest. He is the greatest of all time. One of my favorite athletes. He had a fight in Johannesburg, Africa with George Foreman. It went 8 rounds, and for the first round, George Foreman beat him up pretty bad. He hit him with body blows. He was literally lifting Muhammad Ali off the ground with these blows. But as the fight went on, the crowd started to count Muhammad Ali out. They started to believe that it wasn't possible for him to stay this champ. But Muhammad Ali had other plans. He had other intentions. Around the 8th round, when Muhammad Ali thought he was weak and he was getting ready to fall and he was tired, a champion came out. A true champion came out. And he told himself, I'm not going to lose this belt. I worked too hard to lose this belt. And I want you guys to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I worked too hard to lose this battle of life. I came too far to quit now. We all had those situations where we had to get back up. We had to dig down deep and find that warrior that lives inside of us all. And we had to use that warrior to get back up. Can you hear me? I said get back up. And all you people that have been disconnected from life, and you don't know where you're going anymore, you're lost. You can't see the other side. Go back to the child that you used to be. Remember the greatness that you had inside of you. And we're going to pick that crown off the ground and we're going to put it back on your head today. It's time for us to start living our dreams and chasing them with relentless effort. It's time for us to start being phenomenal. It's time for us to bring unity back into this earth. We're going to do this together. We're going to change the world. Not just Sparky. We're going to change the world. And we're going to rise together. We're chasing greatness. We're throwing average in the garbage can, and we're awakening the greatness that lies inside of us. Because as I say all the time, we are all a walking $1 million check. But it's up to you to sign the check if you want to cash it. We will fight, we will claw together. And we all have special pieces that if we bring together, we can never be stopped. We're going to speak for the underdogs. We're going to speak for the people who have no voice. It's time to rise. It's time to live. It's time to get what we deserve. If you don't get up when the count is at 9, you don't want it enough. It's time to stop listening to the outdated version and living in the now version. Your story is your story. Your journey is your journey, and it's always going to be different. Go to where there's no path and leave a trail. Let's be phenomenal. One is okay, but a nation is unstoppable. Keep being inspirational. Keep being beautiful. Keep being driven. And keep fighting for your dreams.